that, you know, that people get on there, and most likely this person, and I was reading about that, well, they got a lot of these guys that they do this. It wasn't just my channel. They go to many channels and do this just to cause an argument or stir. So I got whipped up into that, and now I'm for the wise. So basically, even if I'm talking to a regular person, if they give me bad reviews, and I'm not saying if I didn't carve it right or whatever, I know when I don't carve something right. And then I just basically, that remove button, I just remove them. It's that simple. The stress is not worth it. Now look at there, we're getting our little person here. I want to cut this down just a little bit. Okay. And so I learned. Now then, we just want to put him in pants. Here, first of all, we need to do this. We need to cut a center line in here. So I learned. And from then on, I said, you know what? If a person comes on here and they just want to say bad things, I just remove their comment. And people go, oh, well, you're not willing to take criticism? Yeah, I'm willing to take criticism. But the problem is, I don't know who I'm taking criticism from. I was taking criticism from a 14-year-old that had never carved in their life. They just got on people's websites and made comments. Now, if you want to tell me your name and tell me how much you've been carving and all this other stuff, then maybe I'll listen to you. But not anymore. Because life is too short. You don't do that. All right, I went in between the legs here and just sort of, let's go ahead and put let me come down with this just a little bit. Now, of course, the head's got to come down. We all know that. It's just come down a lot, but let's go ahead and just run him a little coat. I like to put coats on my guys. I think they look good. Just write it down, just make a little cut. Come down like that and take your tip of your knife and make a little cut and come back. Take a little bit at a time. When you've got small figures like this, you do not want to try to take too much off at one time. That's very, very bad because you can really break pieces or knock pieces off. So you just come back and cut again as you do that. So when you learn to ignore all that stuff and just have a good time doing it, then you will have a good time in life. You will. You won't have to worry about all the silliness and the drama, as we say, and I'm too old. I've had enough drama in my life with the death of a wife, the loss of a home, the divorce that I did not want. Those are things that are dramas in your life, and I'm just going to cut this a little deeper. So when you go through those things, you say to yourself, well, you know, I'm not going to let the opinions of some people disturb me. Okay. and you'll live longer and enjoy life longer. I'm cutting another place for the... Like I said, you see how small these figures are. I cut that out right there. I'm going to come up underneath here. It's kind of hard to see that. I try to draw it right, and then come across here with this, with the coat. And you'll have a better life by not worrying about that. Because now that's not to say that, look, we all need criticism in our life, and we all need to take it and learn from it. But don't listen to people who try to do just basically start a... Have you ever met these people? They want to argue with you about everything. Absolutely. It's terrible. My dad used to tell me about those people, and they want to argue with you about everything. You never do it right unless you do. I've met a lot of carvers like that. In my years, I've met carvers who, if you didn't carve like them, then, now, not a whole lot, but I've met them. If you didn't do it their way, then you were doing it wrong no matter what. And that's a sad thing, because that doesn't leave the quality of what... And it's like our videos that we make. It's like those. The videos that we make, it's not about, can I be better than Doug? Or can Doug be better than me? That's not what it should ever be about. But yet, just like that young carver I'm talking about, he allowed public opinion to get him to that point. Because he was frustrated, because they would tell him sometimes, well, this other carver on the web, he doesn't do it that way. Or he should do it. And that would upset him. That would upset him very badly. And, it just got to him until I think he finally just quit. I know he did. And I don't think you see his stuff anymore. I'm going to come up here and get those shoes now leveled off a little bit better. And it's sad. It's sad because I'm going to come down here and do this now with the shoe, the pants line. It's sad because he could have been a good carver, and he probably is a pretty good carver and a teacher doing good videos. But that happened to him, and it's just the way things are. And he let public opinion get to him. And believe me, there's people that if they know they're getting to you, there's a lot of people are really, mean that, but there's some people, if they know they're getting to you, they're gonna pounce on you like a wolf. So you gotta be careful of all that stuff. All right, there we go. Don't worry about it, folks. Don't let those type of things destroy you and get you down, because believe me, they will. I've lived 70 years, and wow, I used to let that stuff get to me, and you just can't let it happen. And everybody knows I'm not a perfectionist. See, that's another thing. if you've ever met and been around perfectionists, they like it done their way and exactly the way they do it. And I'm not that type of person. I'm just an old dumb refinery worker who likes to whittle. All right, let's come across here. Let's just come up here and down here with the pants. Just cut it. And do the same thing on this side. I'll cut this right in here. There we go. Just like that. Now that's awful thin in there. It really is. Like I said, this is only 3/4 inch wood. This is not very big. This is really small. Okay, let me go ahead and put these marks in here. And that's why I've always called myself a whittler. I don't call myself a carver. I mean, I know a lot of my videos is carving this and that. I just basically call myself a whittler because that's what I do. And that's what I show you here. Just come out on an afternoon where it's nice and pretty in Texas. A lot of people have asked, where am I? And I'm in Texas, folks. I'm in the Lone Star State of Texas, and I've been all over Texas. Had people that I know living in different areas. I live about 80 miles east of Houston, Texas, which is a very, very large city. And I'm cutting the hand right here. All I do is run across. And another person walking down the street. And see, you get a little pretty weather and it looks like ants coming out of an anthill. Lady walking down the street with a telephone, talking to herself. I remember, I'm stupid when it comes to technology. And I remember when these people first started getting these phones where they're in their ear and you don't even really know that they're talking with somebody. And they're talking in a store and you hear them. And that's just a natural thing. When you hear somebody near you talking, you're going to look and assume that maybe they're talking to you. And that's happened to me many times with people with these ear. And so, you'll turn and think that they're talking to you and they're really not. So, that's an issue. But it's pretty funny sometimes because you'll think and you'll think, like a guy said, it was 30 minutes. I kept talking to a guy and he wasn't even talking to me, in other words, because phones in people's ears and people are on the phone constantly. Like I said, going out for an evening walk and she's got the phone and she's talking to somebody. Okay, let's go ahead and work on the head. Now then, shall we put a hat on him? No, I think I'm just going to kind of bring that head down quite a bit. I always give myself plenty of work time to work In other words, I can always bring that head down because I have plenty of wood to do it. In other words, rather than trying to assume that that's not what I can do. All right, bringing that head down. Just doing that. Do. Yeah, that was a sad story about that young man that was a carver and was teaching on YouTube. And he let people get to him. And that's sad. But we have a lot of guys on here that are now making videos that don't care what people, whoa, a motorcycle. Or no, hot rod. As my little grandson Eli says, he loves sports cars, and every Mustang that he's in the back. When I've got him in the car seat, he's 5, and sports car. He'll say sports car. Every little car that looks like a Mustang or anything like that, and it's kind of cute. You'll be driving with him and you'll hear him back there, sports car, sports car. Okay, I'm just from side to side. I go bringing the head. It's sort of a, and I'm gonna bring it down some more. Fact. Okay. And I'm gonna bring it down even a little bit more. I could have probably made it 3/4 instead of an inch, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can always bring it down, just taking a little bit more off the top, and those times do a little bit more like this and like this as we come up and make our nose. And let's go ahead and come about right here. And let's work on our nose right in there. I guess the problem with me is I'm just not smart enough to get offended by, too offended by people. And I had to learn that the hard way. I really did. Because I really thought that, I'm telling you what, there are people that can make you really believe that they know what they're talking about. And they don't. They don't, but they got my old dad used to call it the gift of gab. Remember that? But they have the gift of gab, and they can make you believe that they really know what they're talking about. And not really have that much experience in those type of things. But yet they'll make you believe that, oh wow, they know what they're. The Bible talks about the foolish wise. Talks about they thought they were fools, but yet they thought they were wise, but yet they became fools. So I'm not saying that people that are smart are fools. But it doesn't mean that, as my old daddy used to say, book smart does not mean common sense. And my dad had a lot of common sense. Of course, all he went through in the war and stuff, I know where he got a lot of that common sense. But book smart doesn't always mean that a person is got, you know. And here's my old daddy made a lot of quotes, but he said, you can be smart and not have character. And he believed in those things, and he's very good at it. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and draw my lines over here. I loved my daddy. He taught me a lot of things. A lot of things. And I hope that your father did too. My father was definitely not a perfect man. He had his flaws. But he taught me a lot of good things about life. And that, a man who went through all he went through in the war and was able to get through it. That was, I had a good teacher in life, and I was blessed. I want to tell you something, folks. I was blessed to have a good teacher in life. I was. Like I said, he was not a perfect man, and he was not the most refined man, but he was a man of integrity, and he understood things, and he had a lot of common sense. And I tell you what, I don't care what anybody says. I'm just making for the ears again. And I always make the ears bigger, and then I come back with them. But he taught me a lot. He taught me a lot about life. Sometimes I didn't listen to him, and I really got myself in trouble. Stupid me, We all went through those periods, didn't we? Where we thought we knew so much, but we're really very stupid.